Hello, YouTube. It's Monday morning, 11:03 a.m., November 21st, 2022, and I'm walking through a beautiful courtyard because, yeah, I didn't stay the night in my place last night. Go me. And I will give more details about what happened last night. Let's just say it was pretty much awesome. Um, ooh, balls. After more balls. Uh, after I leave here, because I probably shouldn't make it really obvious where here is. Although if you recognize the scenery and you know, well, you know. So there's a correct way to parallel park, which I've pretty much done. And there's what people seem to think is acceptable in this cul-de-sac. Yeah, that is not parallel parking. That's illegal. And I do believe once upon a time I saw a spot like this where a Phoenix cop who was bored gave a whole bunch of parking tickets. Anyway, I gotta get something to eat. It's been a while since I ate. And welcome back, YouTube. It's 11:07, and I think I'm gonna go to Del Taco because it just occurred to me I don't think I've had any Del Taco in over 2 weeks, which is a really long time for me. I generally have it all the time, so kind of having a withdrawal, especially considering that like last night I ate at one of the top 5 restaurants in the United States, and I found myself kind of, not to discount the restaurant, because that restaurant is amazing and the food was amazing, but I found myself thinking, is it weird that I prefer Del Taco? Does that make me wrong? Well, I got distracted by the woman cleaning her car. She was in quite the pose. Crouched over inside, vacuuming the inside of her SUV. Alrighty then. Darn, it's not Tuesday, it's Monday. I don't get any of those awesome deals today. And I didn't check the Del Taco app to see if there's any deals in the app. Yeah, I'm not too fond. If you remember my videos that I did about the Del Taco app, I'm not too fond of the Del Taco app. It just seems like more hassle to use, and it's sort of, ooh. Speaking of the Del Taco app, though, I did get a message. From them saying they have tamales. Although they only show them as like smothered and stuff, and that's too messy to eat while driving.
Hi, welcome to Del Taco.
Hello. I just want to get the get 2 of the Del Combo burritos with green sauce.
2 of the Del Combos with green sauce?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that'll be it for me.
Okay. I have a photo for you at 52.
Okay, thank you. Well, I just looked a little closer at the menu and noticed they do have an option for just tamales that aren't smothered, but I already ordered my burritos, and that's honestly what I'm really craving, just simple comfort food. Although whatever the Italian dish was I had last night was good. Priscilla actually thought of that as a romantic dinner, and I suppose to a certain amount it was. God knows I can never afford to take her out to a restaurant like that, but we had a great time last night. And while the giant family birthday party was going on for the woman who founded the restaurant and is basically the owner of the restaurant, who was really happy to see me, by the way. As soon as she turned around and saw me, she's like, "Hey, I know you." And I just smiled and said, I said, "Of course you do." I said, "Happy birthday, Sophia." And it was, it was a really good time. But yeah, I after my last video. So my last video, I did seem like I was pretty stressed out about well, actually my next to last video was the one where I was looking really stressed out about the whole, wow, I wonder if the image is shaking as much when it's done. It's sure shaking a lot in the viewfinder right now. Anyway, yeah, I was really stressed about doing the show. Hello. Somewhere in here there's a 20. There it is. No thanks. No hot sauce. Can you get my receipt, please? Can I get my receipt, please? Thank you. It still drives me crazy that I absolutely always have to ask for, almost, more often than not, have to ask for a receipt. I mean, does anybody else remember most fast food places having signs by the window that said, if you're not offered a receipt, call this 1-800 number to report it for a free meal? Does anybody else remember that, or is that just something that's in my messed up head? Oh dang, I got my heater on and it's getting really warm in here really quick. And it's actually pretty nice outside. Yeah, this is the time of year. Oh, it's a little windier than I like. This is the time of year that makes it worth living through all the heat through the summer in Phoenix. I'm not sure what the temperature is outside, but it's super comfy. Trying to open up the Obama phone to catch it, although I think it's down to like 1% on battery right now, which is why I'm going home real quick. I'm planning on staying home very long. I just mostly need to get a charging cable for my Android. Probably should grab an iPhone while I'm at it. I got chargers in the car and I just have no dang cords. So actually 66 degrees. And I guess it's so sunny it just felt warmer than that walking out to the car. So yeah, it was the next to the last video where I was really stressing out about the upcoming party that I was going to DJ at a place that honestly felt a little too classy for me to be there, even though I've been there several times before. And then there was a video after that where I had commented that hanging out with the owner, Phil, had just really put my mind at ease and made me feel a lot better, and that I'd got everything set up and that it was great. Now, as expected, when I got back there a little after 7, and it was dark, I did have to do some more fine adjustments to the projector to get it just right, because it's just impossible to set up a projector correctly in bright sunlight. If I had to do all over again, I think I would have placed everything in different locations, but I'm not entirely sure how I would do it. The way I ended up doing it, I didn't even think of that when I did it, but I created a situation where, in order for anybody to walk up and talk to me and tell me what they'd like to sing, they would have to walk in front of the projector's beam. So that was a total fail on my part. Now there was a way that the staff had arranged the chairs and stuff, and literally when everybody came in that area, they got rearranged. And pretty much the entire night, people were standing in front of the projection beam. And yeah, definitely the next time I do something there, I need to put a lot more thought into how I do that, and realize that most people just don't have the self-discipline to not. Damn, that truck is entirely too tall. Most people just don't have the self-discipline to not block a projection beam, or even be cognizant of like how that image works and where that image is coming from. Although I don't know when I'll be doing my next event with projection. The next thing I have, obviously the next thing I have is this Thursday night, my regular show at Bullock's Cocktails. At least I think I have it. It's Thanksgiving, but nobody's told me otherwise, and I fully expect it to be open. It's possible they give me the night off, but I really don't think so. But yeah, the next special event I have coming up is I want to say, a little less than a month. I'm doing a Christmas party, and I've done it at Center Residence. I've done it before. They've got an absolutely huge fireplace. Or not fireplace. Well, they've got a nice fireplace. They have an absolutely huge TV mounted in a mantel above their fireplace. So, yeah, don't worry about projection then. In fact, the last event that I did projection for was the Super Bowl party at Castaway's Bar in 2019. So yeah, it's been a long time that my long time that my projector's been put away and my screen has been put away. Kind of put away. I'm not sure if I showed it when I was making the video, but the last time I put my projection screen away, and my projection screen is really old. I estimate it to be from like the early 70s, just from its design. And it's a really, really nice projection screen. The design is really good as far as like it all folds together and locks together into a compact form factor where everything's protected. But the springs in it are really old and tired and probably not put together right at this point, because part of it did come apart and I tried to fix it and did a really lousy job. And the we call it anyway, the last time I tried to put it together was after the Super Bowl party, and it just simply would not roll up. So I just kind of rolled the screen around the thing it's supposed to roll up into, and for the longest time it leaned up against a corner behind a speaker that's not even there anymore. Used to have these big bass box speakers in the back corners of Castaways, and it was behind one of those, just leaning in the corner, and it wasn't particularly in the way, but it was, certainly not the most attractive thing in the bar, and it stayed there for a long time before finally one of the owners was like, "Are you ever going to take that screen out of here?" And I'm like, yeah, I should really do that. Sorry, been kind of procrastinating that. But anyway, yeah, I did. I still at that point wasn't able to roll it up, and I just kind of left it like it was. Got it. I'm pretty sure I was driving. Pretty sure I was driving my Benz at that time, which had a lot of space inside, because I'd taken all the interior out to move scooters with it, and so I at the time I was able to easily get that screen into my car, and I brought it to my storage, and it's been sitting there ever since. Anyway, proud to share that I actually got for the first time in years, got Now I did have a difficult time rolling it up, and it didn't kind of retract all by itself, but I used my fingers in such a way I was able to get it all roll up inside and lock in place. And I do actually have the thing fully assembled correctly. And as I was doing that, Priscilla asked a question that I had thought about, and she's like, are you going to be able to put that in the car with me in it? And I quickly realized that no, I'm not. Oh, and by the way, I did end up taking her. You probably figured that out by now. I was thinking about not doing it. She came about the right way of persuading me to bring her with. And anyway, when she said that, I was like, oh crap. Anyway, it's probably a good thing that I ended up leaving that and quite a few other things there so that I had room to bring Priscilla, because as it is, I actually had 2 of the staff members that were kind of waiting on me to break down after they were all done and everybody else had left, and it would have really been an imposition on them to have to wait, even longer while I loaded everything. So on that note, I'm going to go inside, grab my cords, change my shoes. I'm in dress shoes, which are not the most comfortable thing at the moment, and then be back to continue this and head into Scottsdale and get my stuff. And welcome back, YouTube. It's what time is it? 12:04 p.m. Still Monday, November 21st. Well, my car is beeping a lot today. There are days I actually think about disconnecting that stupid beeper because it dings so often for just nothing. In fact, the only time it dings that I actually find it helpful is when I've inadvertently left my turn signal on for too long as I'm driving straight down the road, and it's kind of a friendly reminder that I'm looking like an idiot in public. Other than that, it's just mostly an annoyance. So, actually stayed at home a little longer than I thought I would. Allison's still not there. She wasn't there when Priscilla and I got there at about, I want to say like 1:30 in the morning, after leaving the restaurant last night. So this is the pothole that was repaired by somebody other than the city. It doesn't look pretty, but it's surprisingly smooth driving over it. So, yeah, random person who fixed the pothole in my alley. Thank you for that. If you could get the other ones, that'd be great. So, just sent a text to Phil a little bit ago to let him know I was headed to the restaurant to pick up the rest of my gear, and he responded that he's on his way as well. So that looks like that's working out to be really good timing. My little break at home, I actually got distracted messing with my Discogs. I've been actively cataloging my music on Discogs again. Not spending a lot of time on it, but just a little bit of time almost every day. And I'm actually kind of excited with the amount of progress that I'm making. Mostly just in the last few days, I've just been cataloging the 8 tracks that I got from Heather in the box that I did a video on right before I went out to Flagstaff. And granted, I'm running across quite a few in that box that need repaired, which is to be expected with a collection of 8 tracks. But I'm honestly surprised how many I'm getting that are really good ones that sound just fine or sound okay and play just fine. I did recently catalog and add an album from the Doobie Brothers that I've never owned before, I don't think. Now there were 2 songs on it that I'm totally familiar with. The one that's most sticking in my head right now is "Jesus Is Just All Right With Me," which of course is on the Doobie Brothers' Greatest Hits, which I've had numerous copies of that over the years, and that was a radio staple. Hell, I don't listen to classic rock radio hardly ever. It's probably still a classic rock radio staple, but it certainly was like a rock radio and classic rock radio staple for most of my life. Anyway, yeah, that album played good. It sounds a little on the flat side, but certainly a listenable copy.
and worthwhile putting in the collection until I can get lucky and score one that sound better. Although there's always the possibility that's just how all the 8 tracks of that particular album sound. Anyway, just got done listening to Styx, The Grand Illusion, out of that box, and man, that's just absolutely love that album, every bit of it. And that's one of those albums that just I'm so used to listening to it on 8-track. There's one song, and I forget which one it is, that kind of is split in two over programs. But again, like when I'm listening to 8-tracks, I just kind of, that's just something I tolerate. It is what it is. But yeah, I was thoroughly enjoying that album, and I just looked it up, and of course I already have that on another 8-track. So of course that goes someplace different than just into my collection, and that every time I encounter one like that, like it's where it went is to indicate that it's been play tested and plays good. At that point, what I do is I pull the one out of my collection and just kind of decide which of the two I keep and which of the two goes to eBay. So, also did that recently with Cheap Trick, Dream Police. So got at least 2 8-tracks heading to my eBay soon, provided I can still sell on eBay. But that's a separate track. In other excitement today, woke up to a text message from the woman, the wife and the couple with the huge Laserdisc collection up in North Phoenix. And while I haven't forgot about those guys, I definitely have not been in touch with them. Actually surprised, it's been probably over 6 weeks. When I looked at the date of my last text message to her, it was just like, oh damn, I let a lot of time pass without staying in touch with them. Oops. And to be completely honest, I have been contemplating just not messing with that collection. That's a lot of money I really don't need to spend, and I don't have a lot of money to be spending on stuff like that. But that collection really is a once in a lifetime kind of score, and I'm not working all this overtime for nothing and doing all these extra events for nothing. And another thing to keep in mind is I'm actually making enough money this month off just karaoke and DJ alone to cover it. So yeah, I'm gonna do it. Oh, then we're not cheering. I was just kidding. On that note, I got a new Ed Sheeran record to listen to. So I would do that when I get back home. I did listen to the Silk Sonic record and posted a little bit of that on my Snapchat. And not the first time I've heard that album. I've heard that album quite a few times. In fact, Priscilla bought the CD not too long after it came out, and it seemed like for a while, every time I rode in her vehicle, like that's what was on. And she even played it in my living room a handful of times. And I've streamed the album a couple times as well. Great throwback R&B record. If all you've heard is Leave the Door Open, and you like that, definitely give the rest of that album a listen. It's good. Features Bootsy Collins, which is always fun, and hard to pick a favorite song off that. It's becoming one of those albums where I really don't know the song titles, because when I listen to it, I tend to listen to the whole thing. And the obvious standout tracks are the singles, which I have played separately from playing the album, which obviously Leave the Door Open, but then also Smoking Out the Window. And I find it funny how Smoking Out the Window got a lot of mentions in the kind of what would you even call the genre, like the the men going their own way type videos, and yeah, there's a lesson to be learned in those in those lyrics. Yeah, if she's got you smoking out the window, time to reevaluate your situation. I mean, I don't smoke, so not a personal issue for me, but yeah. I can't say that I've ever been a simp to the level of the person being described in that song, but yeah, there's yeah. But then again, maybe I'd be less lonely if I was. So I guess it's all a trade-off. Wow, actually, a woman walking a stroller on the sidewalk. Not too often I see anybody on that sidewalk over there. So yeah, the party last night went really, really well. Trying to think of any details. It was definitely like a small group of people that were doing the bulk of the singing. And the funny thing is, if that was a bar show, I would certainly be curtailing those few people from singing as much as they did when there were so many other people not singing. But I mean, hey, they're the ones paying me for that, so by all means, yeah, you're paying me well to have a good time. Have a good time, and everybody did have a good time, and a lot of stuff that I wouldn't let fly at my regular karaoke show. I mean, I think I only had maybe 3 songs written down. Everybody else just told me what they wanted, and I just kind of put it in the queue, and just kind of had it was a family group, so not a problem having people just hand microphones off to each other. But there was a group of small little girls that were singing Harry Styles songs, and while I am a little bit familiar with Harry Styles, and I do have there's a handful of songs off his first album that I really liked, particularly Kiwi and Sign of the Times. Really, really liked Sign of the Times. Such a tough decision. Do I park in front where I have less distance to carry stuff, or do I park here where I have shade? I think I'm going to park inside because I get a lot of heavy stuff to carry. No point carrying it any farther than I have to. Anyway, these little girls were asking for new songs of his that I was unfamiliar with, so I had them write it down, just because I was just really worried that I would otherwise not remember what it was they were asking for. Well, I can park inside and have shade. Lucky me. I love this restaurant. It's so beautiful. In fact, I'll try to see if I can shoot some video inside here, just to share it with y'all, because not too many people get the luxury of going into this place after hours, and it's a pretty pricey place to go into during business hours. This is easily one of the most expensive restaurants in Arizona. So I feel very fortunate to have been able to come here as many times as I have. Anyway, I see the people I'm looking for outside, so I'm gonna cut out. But yeah, I did have those girls write their songs down just because I wanted to make sure I got the right ones, and I knew I wouldn't remember them. And both of those songs I did already have. As I've mentioned before, I'm constantly getting new music at a much higher rate than I have time to catalog it and put it into the website. So a lot of stuff people ask for, even if I don't have it on my Songbook DB and in my organized karaoke library where I just go to it directly by artist, I'll have it in one of like five work in progress type directories if I do some searching. And yeah, definitely had both of the Harry Styles songs, which of course has me motivated to, if I can find some time this week, to work on music, probably actually add those to the collection, since I've already, done the file conversion and listened to them, and I know that they're good quality tracks, which of course won't stop me from previewing them without little girls screaming over the top of them. But hey, yeah, got those done. I also had somebody, and I think she was part of the casino staff. They also kind of set up like some casino tables in the back. one of them asked about singing a song from Coco, and I told her, that I hadn't added any songs from the movie Coco yet, but can probably get them. And I had her write it down just because I wasn't familiar with the song, so I wanted to make sure that I was looking for the right thing. And I found it, and I actually used one of my free credits to get it from Karaoke Version. And then come to find out, like, when I kind of called her to sing, she never came up and never came back to ask about singing again. So, which is fine, not the first time I've gone through effort, and at least that one I bought with a free credit. I mean, sometimes I actually buy them with money out of my own pocket at $3 to have people not sing them. Not a problem. Not a problem at all. I mean, it goes in the library. Somebody will probably sing it eventually. And if nothing else, it's, something more interesting and different to add to my karaoke. In fact, I had a situation like that on Thursday. Somebody had asked to sing a song by Case that I wasn't familiar with. And I didn't have it in a download directory, and I was able to purchase it. Actually, I think I bought that one with a free song credit as well on Karaoke Version. And that particular one, I actually added it yesterday morning as I was working on music before I came in here to set up for the big party inside Cafe Marnark. Yeah, added that, no, the guy didn't sing it, but I feel there's a good chance the guy's going to probably come back. I've seen him at Bullocks before. He's not one of those persons that's there every week, but he's definitely been there before. So, yeah, made a point to add that to the collection. That way, the next time he comes up and asks to sing it, there's no delay for him at all. I'll just have it ready to go. So, anyway, I need to get myself inside, start loading up my stuff. I think that is, looks like Phil just walked behind me. So, thanks for watching, and of course, like and subscribe and all that fun YouTube stuff, and I will be back with more videos later.